You are 14 years old and you are selling candy bars outside a Walgreens in Boca Raton, Florida. Fundraiser for the middle school baseball team. Except you are not on the baseball team. You bought the box yourself, 48 bars from Sam's Club for $22, and you are selling them for $2 each. You tell every customer the money goes to new uniforms. You look them in the eye. You smile. Some give you $5 and say keep the change. You make $114 in 4 hours. Profit $92. You are 14 and you just learned something that will define every year of the rest of your life. People do not buy what you are selling. They buy how you make them feel. And you have a face that people trust. A voice that makes strangers reach for their wallets. This is not a skill. It is a deformity. A mutation that looks like charisma but functions like camouflage. Your father sells used cars on Federal Highway. Your mother answers phones at a dentist's office. Combined income, $71,000. They are honest. They are tired. You watch them, and somewhere deep in the architecture of your brain, you decide that being honest and being tired are the same thing. And you will never be tired. This is your life at every level of the Ponzi scheme, from the boy with the candy bars to the man with the SEC indictment. Every handshake, every lie dressed in a suit, every dollar that belonged to someone who believed you. Level 1, the natural. You graduate from UCF with a finance degree and a 2.7 GPA. You are not smart the way professors measure. You are smart the way a card player is smart. You read the room faster than anyone in it. You get a job at a wealth management firm in Fort Lauderdale. $38,000 plus commission. The clients they give you are the leftovers, retirees with $40,000 in savings, widows who apologize for not understanding jargon. You take everyone. You sit with them for 2 hours. You learn their grandchildren's names. You bring donuts to their kitchens. They give you their money, not because your returns are better, because you are the first advisor who made them feel like they mattered. End of year 1, $2.4 million under management. Commission, $61,000. Your boss calls you a natural. He means it as a compliment. He does not understand that the talent he is praising is the talent for making people trust you, and that this talent is only valuable if the trust is deserved. You bring a retired school teacher named Dorothy her quarterly statement. She made 8.4%. The market made 8.4%. You did nothing special. But Dorothy holds the statement like a letter from a grandchild and says, "You are so good at this," and you feel warmth in your chest that has nothing to do with the money and everything to do with being believed. It is a drug. You do not know it yet, but you are already addicted. Your trust is deserved. For now, level 2, the promise. You open your own firm, Coastal Capital Advisory. 1 room in a strip mall between a nail salon and a Subway. You manage $8 million. Revenue, $80,000. Enough to live. Not enough to become what you promised yourself at 14. Then a client, Arthur Greenwald, 74, retired postal worker, $220,000 in savings, and says, "My friend Harold got 14% last year from his guy. Can you do that?" You cannot. The market returned 9. But Arthur does not care about the market. Arthur cares about Harold, about not being the one who chose wrong. You say, "I can look into some alternative strategies." You do not know what you mean. But you know how Arthur's face changed when you said it. Relief. Hope. The same face the people outside Walgreens made when you told them the money was for uniforms. That night you stare at the ceiling of your office and feel something open inside you. Not an idea. A door. A door you know you should not walk through. Level 3, the first lie. You fabricate a statement, 1 page. Arthur's account. 14.2%, where the real number is 8.7%. You mail it on Coastal Capital letterhead. Arthur tells Harold. Harold calls. Harold has $340,000 and a brother-in-law named Gene with $500,000, and Gene knows a retired dentist with $1.1 million. 5 weeks, $2.1 million in new money. You pay Arthur his 14% from Gene's capital. Harold from the dentist's capital. The dentist from the next client's capital. The oldest fraud in financial history, and you are running it at 27 in a strip mall because a postal worker asked about Harold. Income, $142,000. You buy a used BMW 3 Series for $34,000. You are careful. The trick is not to look rich. The trick is to look like a man doing slightly better than he should, which makes people curious, which makes them ask how, which makes them hand you their money. Level 4, the fund. $47 million under management. An office in Boca Raton with glass doors and a receptionist named Diane who serves coffee in ceramic mugs. Because you read that ceramic signals permanence. 2 junior advisors who believe the returns are real. An accountant who files taxes based on the statements you fabricate. Nobody knows. The lie has one architect. You launch the Coastal Growth Fund. Minimum, $250,000. Promised return, 12 to 14%. The pitch, a proprietary options collar hedged against volatility, sounds complex enough to be real. It is not real. You give a talk at a Rotary Club in Palm Beach. A man in the front row writes a check for $1 million. Richard Calloway, 68, built a plumbing business over 40 years. That check is his entire retirement. You deposit it. You use $120,000 to pay returns to earlier investors. You feel nothing. The boy who sold candy bars felt a thrill. The man who fabricated Arthur's statement felt guilt. The man who deposits Richard Calloway's life savings feels nothing at all. The moral nerve has been cut so cleanly you did not notice the blade. Level 5, the machine, $230 million. 312 investors. Country clubs, synagogues, church groups, a firefighter's pension fund in Broward County. You sponsor a Little League team. You donate to a children's hospital. You shake hands with mayors who have money in your fund. You buy a house in Parkland. Pool with an $18,000 waterfall. Your wife Lauren drives a white Range Rover. Your daughters attend a $28,000 a year private school. You coach soccer on Saturdays. The other parents like you. 11 of them are investors. The returns you report, 13.4%. The reality, the money is not invested at all. There is no strategy. There is a bank account and a spreadsheet, and you, moving numbers from column to column like a man juggling knives in a room filling with people. You pay yourself $1.2 million in management fees. You report it. You pay taxes. The IRS sees a successful advisor. The SEC sees clean filings. Nobody sees the spreadsheet, the only document that tells the truth about you, stored on a laptop in a safe behind a row of shoes. You cannot sleep. Not from guilt, from arithmetic. Every night you lie in bed next to Lauren and you run the numbers. Inflows versus outflows. Redemption requests versus available cash. You calculate how many months you have before the machine starves. 14 months. Maybe 18 if markets stay calm and nobody large cashes out. You are lying next to your wife doing math that would put you in federal prison if she could hear it. Your risk, one redemption wave, 1 month where too many investors want out. You have $31 million liquid. Your obligations, $230 million. You are a paper dam holding back an ocean that gets heavier every day. Level 6, the crack. The market crashes. S&P drops 34% in 5 weeks. Your phone rings 47 times in 1 day. Investors want out. You pay the loudest first, the ones who might call lawyers. You stall the quiet ones. Processing delays. Custodian backlog. Lies so technical they sound like explanations. Richard Calloway calls. He is 71. His wife has Alzheimer's. He needs $200,000 for a memory care facility. He is polite. He says, whenever it's convenient. You tell him 2 weeks. You know his money paid someone else's returns 3 years ago? It is gone. You hang up, and for the first time since Arthur's statement, you feel something. A tremor. A vibration like a phone on silent. Not guilt, exactly. The physical sensation of the floor beginning to tilt under a structure never meant to hold this weight. You cover the gap with a desperate $14 million raise from a developer in Naples who wants 15%. You promise it. You would promise 50. You are no longer running a scheme. You are outrunning a collapse. Level 7, the Unraveling. A forensic accountant at a feeder fund in New York notices. Not that returns are high, that they are consistent. 13% in a bull market, 12 in a bear. The market moves like an earthquake. Your fund moves like a clock. To most people, that is reassuring. To a forensic accountant, it is a siren. SEC opens a preliminary inquiry. 14 days to provide audited records, trade confirmations, custodial statements. You sit in your office at 2 o'clock reading the letter for the 7th time. In 14 days, someone will ask to see the laptop behind the shoes. You call a criminal defense attorney in Miami. Retainer, $75,000. Lauren sees the charge. You say, business expense. The last lie you tell her as her husband. Level 8, the end. The SEC finds it in 9 days. The auditor, a woman named Park who does not smile, opens your folder and says, these are fabricated, not as a question. FBI. Tuesday, 2 agents. Diane offers ceramic mugs. They decline. They have a warrant. They take the laptop. The number, $230 million in obligations. $6.8 million in actual assets. $223 million. Gone. Not wired to an island. Spent. Paid as fake returns. Consumed by the machine. Lauren files before the indictment. She takes the girls to Tampa. Your older daughter is 9. Your younger one is 6. She asks when you are coming home. You plead guilty. Securities fraud. Wire fraud. Money laundering. The judge reads victim statements. Richard Calloway's daughter speaks. Her father died in a facility paid for by a second mortgage on a house he had owned outright. He spent his last year asking where his money went. 22 years. Butner, North Carolina. The end. A cell. 6 by 9 feet. Concrete. A metal bed. A mattress 3 inches thick. A fluorescent light that hums at a frequency you will memorize within a year. 22 years to think about the candy bars. About Arthur's face when you said 14%. About Richard Calloway saying, whenever it's convenient. About the ceramic mugs and the gold frame and the smile that made strangers open their wallets. Your daughter's visit once. The older one is 11. She sits across a table in a room that smells like floor cleaner and asks, "Did you steal people's money?" You say, "Yes." She does not cry. She nods. She has your face, the face people trust, and you look at her and feel the full weight, not the money, not the sentence, but the inheritance. You gave your daughter the one thing you should have kept from her. Your face. Your talent. The camouflage. She will be fine. She is smart, and her mother is honest, and the world is big enough for one more girl with a father in prison. But at night, in the 6 by 9, you wonder. You wonder if she will sit across from someone and smile, and the person will reach for their wallet, and she will feel that warmth, that specific electricity of being believed, and she will have to decide what to do with it. You hope she decides differently. You hope so hard your chest aches. But you know what you are, and you know what hope is worth when the math does not work. $92. That is what it cost to learn. A box of candy bars and a lie about uniforms. Everything after that was just interest.